Hey, my name is Shelly and welcome to my channel, Shell Space. So I don't usually do TBRs, mainly because I'm a really bad mood reader to the point where it's kind of embarrassing, a little discouraging, but we work with what we have. But this month is a tad bit different because I have a ton of buddy reads. I'm really enjoying buddy reading right now. Also, the books that we're going to read, I'm really excited to read. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first book is a book that I'm actually going to start before May. And I'm going to buddy read it with my friend V down on my Discord, the SFF Buddy Reads Discord. The links are down below. It's an awesome place, a brand new channel. I highly recommend checking it out. Obviously, I'm saying this because I'm biased. But we got some really great people there, really welcoming and warm environment. And yeah, if you want to join any buddy reads, I highly recommend checking it out. I'll also link the introduction video of my channel down below or up here or wherever it pops up. And so, yeah. But anyways, let's talk about this book. So the book V and I are going to read on my Discord is Reign and Ruin by J.D. Evans. This originally caught my attention years ago when it won SBFBO 2021, I believe. And also it, re-caught my attention because I did a indie fantasy romance video last week. So this was on the list. I don't know much about this. The fact that it is a romantic fantasy, more on the fantasy side, and the characters are more mature. So they're in, I wouldn't say old, but maybe in like their 30s. So I'm always looking for mature romantic fantasies. So from what I know, it's about a woman who is an heir, and she's very studious, very intelligent, very logical person. And she somehow gets intertwined with this prince that is, I think he's like got some magical abilities. And I believe there's like maybe an element of like dark and light magic, or maybe their magics are opposite for some reason. Regardless, the fact that this won the SBFBO and it comes highly recommended and it's gotten really great reviews on Goodreads, it makes me extremely excited to pick this up. I apologize if you hear humming or buzzing. There's construction right outside my window. It's the only time I can film, so we gotta work with what we got. So the next book I want to talk about is the winner of the readathon poll that we did on the SFF Buddy Reads channel. I think I might have to change the Discord name because I get tongue-tied every time I say it. So the book that won is The Drowned Empire series by Frankie Diane Malice, and the first being The Daughter of the Drowned Empire. This is another sub-pub fantasy romance with more emphasis on the fantasy side, and this is about a young princess from Lymeria. Lymeria is actually a mythical kingdom that was supposed to exist before Atlantis, and in this book, I believe Lymeria sank, and all of the people, the refugee people, are now struggling in this new world. So the fact that it's one, ancient civilizations, check, two, Lymeria, because I'm super fascinated by Lymeria. If anybody's interested, Google it. It's really fascinating. And also Atlantis. And just the whole setup of everything just makes me super excited. So we will be reading that at some point in May, probably the second to third week. We haven't really got a date down yet, but if you're interested, please hop on. Link is down below. We would love to have you. So this is not in any order that I'm going to read because I'm just going to kind of grab it as I feel throughout the month, but I do hope to get to The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu. This is the second book in the, I can never remember the name of the series, but it's the sequel to Three Body Problem. I recently watched a couple episodes of the Three Body Problem on Netflix, and it's sparked my interest back into picking up this series. So I don't know much about this sequel, but the first is very much like First Contact and how humans would react to being contacted by an extraterrestrial race. The first book was very accessible. It was an easy read. It had complex ideas and complex thoughts and very heavy topics, but the actual way that it was written was very easy to understand. I don't have any background in science, and I was able to follow along. Yes, I did have to do a little bit of research here and there, but I mean, sometimes you just have to do that for books. But honestly, that's a good sign if you're really interested in a book and you want to learn more about the topic. But yes, the Three Body Problem I did enjoy. There were a few issues that I had with it, but overall, I found it was a really phenomenal book, and I'm highly anticipating that this will follow up. I've actually heard that this book is better, so I'm really excited. I had this in an audiobook. I think I did an immersion read, so I did a bit of a audiobook, the first one, and physical read, and I found that that was like honestly the best way to read it, so I might do the same thing for this one. So the next book is kind of like a layover from April. I started it, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I'm going to pick it up in May, and that is The Book That Broke the World. This is the sequel to The Book That Wouldn't Burn, and The Book That Wouldn't Burn was probably one of my favorites books of last year. I absolutely loved it. It was weird, it was unusual. It is not for everybody. I do not recommend this for everybody. But if you do like to think outside of the box, if you do like to be a little confused, to have weird, outlandish ideas, and also, it's not really a character-driven book, but there are some really enjoyable characters. I highly recommend checking this out. But again, like I said, it is not for everybody. I've heard mixed reviews about the sequel, but I'm still really excited to pick it up. And surprisingly, it's a lot shorter than The Book That Wouldn't Burn. But can we talk about these covers? These covers are just, they're beautiful. Like these are like art-worthy. These are wall-worthy covers. Anyways, so I'm going to pick this up this month. Not sure when, but we'll pick it up. I may do an audiobook and immersion read for this as well. I think I listened to the audiobook for the first one, and I thought that that was fantastic. So maybe I might do the same thing for this one as well. The next one is also going to be a buddy read. This one's kind of like, this was a maybe. This is a maybe. It depends on how we do with the rest of our buddy reads. And that is the Ikessar Falcon by S.A. Villasol. Spoiler alert, I read The Wolf of Arnyaro last month. Actually, I reread it because I read it before. I'll talk about that in my April wrap-up. But we decided to kind of put this on like the side for now, if we really want to feel it. I'm curious to see what happens. I really did like it. I loved a lot of the book. So this is kind of like a maybe if we have extra time. I do recommend this series. I think it's a really good series, especially for people who are loving romantic fantasy but want to kind of step a little bit more into adults or more political fantasy. I think that this is definitely a good stepping stone series for you to check out. With that said, this is a maybe. So I have one more maybe that I kind of want to slip into May, and that is The Elder Race by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've had this book for a really long time. It is a short little, I think it's a novella. It's a short little novella, and I've been craving Adrian Tchaikovsky. So Adrian Tchaikovsky is one of those authors that it's a hit and miss. The stuff that I love from him. The stuff that I don't like, I'm like, But I especially love his sci-fi stuff. Like, I think it's really great. I did want to pick up the Shadow of the Apt series, but I think I want to finish some other series before picking up that. And the first one being right here is the Empire Black and Gold. The reason why I'm going to pick it up is because it has insectoid people, like humanoid insect people, and it is a military fantasy, which is not really my jam, but I'm very fascinated by the insectoid people. Anyways, we're not talking about this. We're talking about Elder Race. I don't know anything about this book besides the fact that I think it's sci-fantasy. And I think there are ancient astronauts. Anything with ancient astronauts, I'm all up for that. I have the audiobook for this, so I may pick it up in between my big reads. Another book that I would like to get to is a spoiler for my April wrap-up, and it is... what's it fucking called? Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie. Yes, I finally finished the first trilogy in the First Law World. Is it the First Law World or series? I don't know. Anyways, by Joe Abercrombie, and I will talk about that later on in my wrap-up video, but it was good. I enjoyed it. So I definitely want to continue on with the world, and Best Served Cold is the next one up. It's a standalone. I believe it's a military fantasy with a female main character. So that to me is very interesting, and I believe that there is going to be a film adaptation of it soon. Maybe in the works. So I'm really eager to do that. I'm going to be listening to the audiobook. That is no doubt whatsoever in my mind. The audiobooks for that series is incredible. Probably the best audiobook narrator ever. So I will be listening to that through audiobook. So I don't own a physical copy of it yet. That is another one I'm definitely going to get to in May. So that's my May TBR. I cannot believe it's May already. Where has time gone? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Are you reading any of the same books? Would you like to participate in our buddy reads? It would be awesome. We would love to have you. You can find my links down below. I have Instagram, Goodreads, and the Discord link is down below. If you like this video, please give it a like, think about subscribing, and thank you so much for watching and have a fabulous day. Bye!